Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Penapple and today I am building a tropical Christmas build. If you're interested in this build, you can download it off of the gallery. My origin ID is penappleYT. So, this build ended up being kind of like a little Christmas hut thing, and so I don't know if this is meant for Santa. It didn't really feel very Santa-y, it just felt Christmassy, so excuse me, I'm still getting over a cold. Of course I am. I feel like last year all of my holiday themed builds, I'm getting over a cold, and it's the same way this year, I guess. But I do like how this build turned out. I was a little dubious at first with the color scheme and everything and just the idea of it, but even just this little architectural detail here I really liked. I think that this build was kind of difficult in that it's a very simple shape, it's up on the stilts. But other than that, it's basically a square with a little extra bit sticking out and taking out, and yeah. So, I actually built almost an entire thing, or just I didn't do the interior of it, but I built a whole shape and I hated it. It was kind of funny. I asked my boyfriend, I was like, what do you think of this? And he's like, it's okay. And I'm like, delete it. The poor thing. But I hated how it turned out. So here we are. And I decided to go with this really mint green fencing. Just because, mostly because I wanted that open airway, those open airway windows that are there, and they end up being for the bedroom. And I really like that color, and it's so bright. And also, I saw that back when I did the, Brindleton Bays collab, I saw that Freezer Bunny combined this mint color with red, and he pulled it off so well, and so I was like, if he can do it, maybe I can too. It's almost like he gave me permission to use this color scheme, because otherwise I would not have tried it. I'm shaking my head over here. I'm like, nope, nope. It would have been way out of my comfort zone, but I thought I'd go for it, and I think it turned out pretty well. All things considered, I would have never thought to put mint green with red together, so, but I like how it turned out. I was gonna talk about tropical things. I was thinking of things to talk about. So I live in Washington, if you don't know, in Seattle, so it is not very tropical here at all. In the height of summer, usually it gets to be about 95 degrees, and we all are dying because none of us have air conditioning, so dead. But other than that, it's just not very tropical, and we do have beaches because we're on the Puget Sound, but when you think of a beach, you think of, sand. We don't have sand beaches. No, we're not nice enough for that. No, we have rock beaches. Literally picture a pile of rocks and then throw some water on it, and that's what we've got. That and barnacles, because the barnacles love the rocks. And so, and oysters. So basically, take that pile of rocks and that water, that salty water you've thrown on it, now add a whole bunch of broken bottles, and that is about our beach, because the oysters and the barnacles are so sharp. In my childhood, I have been cut by them before. You can't wear open-toed shoes on the beaches here. It's just no go. So yeah, that's my most of my experience with beaches. That's what I grew up with, is the rock beaches, and you can't lay down a towel and sit on those. No, it's just so uncomfortable. It's literally a pile of rocks. But the fun thing with the rock beaches is that the rocks come in all sorts of colors. It's crazy. Usually they're kind of muted, so it's not super vibrant. But one of the things that I always like to do is, I don't always like to do it, but sometimes I would do it, is if you can collect rocks in the different colors, and so you kind of get a pile of red rocks and a pile of orangey rocks, and you can actually make rock rainbows, and once all the colors are next to each other, you can really actually see the color variation, and so that's so cool. I used to go to Girl Scout camp a lot, and so we'd do that. But I have talked through so much now, but I don't really know what else to talk about because this build is relatively simple, just kind of tropical. My favorite part about this build is coming up soonish. I strung lights from the palm trees. Yes, it was annoying. Oh my gosh, it was so annoying. Never again. But I made sure they don't fall when you download a lot. I actually learned a trick that I didn't know. Is if you place something in a room, like a wall ornament, it won't fall. I had no idea. Or like a landscaping too, I guess. So that's a new revelation and will greatly help things, because criminy, it was so annoying when you'd place something and it just fall, and it's like, oh, spent all this time painstakingly placing this, and now I have to do it again, or just ugh. That's all I have to say on the matter. It's really not, but this is where I started building like the rooms in like air quotes. And so I just used the lights that we got in the Diwali update to the holiday pack. And those were a little bit annoying to use, just because for whatever reason, when you look on the other side of them, they disappear. And I'm not quite sure why that is. I mean, it's kind of like the ivy that we got in game, but I understand the ivy a lot more than I understand this. So that's a little bit annoying. So I had to basically, every time I lift one up here, you see, I have to lift up a second one, make sure it's in about the same place, and then I rotated it 180 degrees so that from both sides you can see it. And so it vanishes for a second as you like kind of cross that line, but then it's there. Oh my gosh, so annoying. Yeah, but actually I was about to say this was inspired, but this was not inspired by the update to the holiday stuff pack for this Christmas season. I was thinking of doing this before that, and then I was actually a little disappointed because now I don't seem original, because no one's going to believe that I just thought of this on my own. No, we have objects now that inspired me, I guess. Crumple. But I do like how it turned out. I used these lights. I placed another room here, and this like roof section, I just copied it. I was like, I'm not going to do this more than I have to. Like, this part here was painstaking enough, and I'm about to cut away from it because it was boring as all get out. I didn't like doing it. I felt like you wouldn't like seeing me do it, so I just left. I didn't even record it. I was just like, nope, we're done here. And I just threw on some music and just like really like, went at it. And, sometimes building in The Sims can be so painstaking. Like, the results are magnificent, but like the struggle, the things I do for you guys, not really. Well, kind of. I mean, oh, it sounds so bad. Okay. Oh my gosh. But, I was going to say something. Oh yeah. I feel like because the build is such a simple shape, I really wanted to like have some like interesting things to look at. Cause I don't know what it is about me and like simple shapes in builds. Like, I think simple shapes can be gorgeous, especially in real life. But something about simple shapes in The Sims 4 just like, it grates on me. I don't know why. I'm just like, no, I don't like it. It's like too, I don't know what it is. But here is this little backyard area. I felt like I was gonna, oh yeah, I know what I was gonna say. I cannot wait for wicker furniture. I am tired of the outdoor furniture that we currently have. I want wicker furniture, especially benches, because I really actually like benches in The Sims. But I'm like, we only have 2 wooden benches, kind of, well, 3, well, but like, I want wicker. I want wicker furniture, which is a really funny thing for me to say, because in real life, I hate wicker furniture. Like, it's really pretty to look at, but I don't trust it. Like, I weigh a fair amount, and so whenever I see wicker furniture, I'm like, oh good, a pile of sticks that I can break with my butt. No, but seriously though, I always kind of look at it and I'm like, how does that support anything? Like a bunch of twigs, but I would love to see it in game, because that would be fun. I think we're going to get it with the laundry stuff pack, which should be coming out, I guess, next year. I don't know. I feel like I've been waiting on that thing forever. I mean, we kind of all have, but like, I don't know. But this kitchen was a little bit difficult because for some reason, I really wanted to use that countertop we got like in Parenthood, but it doesn't have an all white version. It only has a white and cream version, and it just didn't fit. So I ended up using this counter, which I don't really like, but I thought that the layout of the kitchen was rather interesting, not what I usually do. And kind of the whole interior of this house is trying to be purposefully slapdash, kind of cluttered. Things don't necessarily match or go together. Like the dining room table has 3 chairs and none of them match, although one of them does match the bar stool. So, but that kind of sort of thing, because I almost imagined that whoever lived here, like, came here on vacation and then they're just like, I'm never gonna leave. Like, they're just kind of like, it's just so nice here. Let's just stay here. So apparently that's what happened. But yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh, now I've run out of things to say. There's only one Christmas tree in this build. Like, I don't know. It was just such a fine line in this build. It was really hard to kind of decorate it for Christmassy things, like past the color scheme. But, yeah, especially, there are no, like, good modern red chairs also, by the way. I mean, there are some, but not just for this sort of theme I wanted. Like, the one we got from the bowling pack, I love it, and I do end up using it, but the red color is so, like, bleh. Especially when you compare it to all these, like, cherry reds that I use. So, whatever. But, see here, I liked using both of the suitcase sort of, like, the one's a nightstand and the other one isn't. And you can see here I'm trying to find a surface that's equal to the height of these books so I can place something on this table without it being clipped. And finally, I was just like, just use a small object and put it on a shelf and put the shelf to the correct height and blah. Anyways, suitcases. I tried using those because I figured the person, like, moved here and those were all the suitcases that they took. So, yeah. But I learned that these posters, when you size them down and then place them, you can't move them afterwards. It was just so annoying because you then have to, like, delete the object and, like, start over again. And for whatever reason, from certain angles, they disappear. So what's with that? Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm asking you guys. I'm like, can you tell me what's wrong with this? But I also had another question. I end up using this fan, and we got it way back in the Get to Work expansion pack, way back when, and I feel like I've almost never seen anybody use it ever. And that's because for whatever reason, it's like in the electronics section. And so I was like, oh, cool, like maybe you can turn it on. Maybe this thing works. But when I went in game, it's not interactable. And so I'm like, why is this in the electronics section if it's not interactable? I guess it's kind of like how the clocks are there too. But I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird to me. Like, has anyone else gotten it to, like, actually move or something? Because I feel like it should, like, it's in the electronic section. Shouldn't it, like do something? Like, I feel like everything else there does. It, like, lights up and maybe shows, like, does a little dance, swings around, sings a little song, something. Something. It affects the mood. Nothing. The fan just sits there. The useless fan. I don't know why I'm so fixated on this. But, like, I don't know. It bugs me. It, for whatever reason. But, also bugs me while we're on the topic. Because, we're here. You're here listening. It's almost like we're, like, halfway through. So you're a dedicated fan at this point, I am sure. What is with the clocks in-game? Like, we have a few wall clocks, but we don't really have any, like, sit-down clocks. Does that make sense? Like a clock you put on a table, a sit-down clock. That's not an expression, but I really like that for some reason. Sit-down clocks. But the ones that we do have are all very old-fashioned. And, like, I always forget about the clocks because they're in the electronics section, like I said. But I feel like the Sims also can't interact with those, so, like, why not just put them in the decor section? Because interestingly enough, the mirrors are in the decor section, which makes sense, but the Sims can interact with those. Like, they're the most interactable object. Like, I always thought it was weird that they put the vanity in the mirror section in the decor section. So, I don't know. Whew. It's really not all that interesting. I'm just going on and on. That glitch is still there where I can't change that swatch for that table. Somebody else also had it, and I was like, oh, thank goodness it's not just me. Because, like, I was like, did I do something? Do I have a weird piece of CC? I have almost no CC in game. Which, by the way, doing this build was nice because I didn't need to put on the snow mod to make it look really extra nice. So, because I love the snow mod, but, like, oh my gosh, it slows down my game, and I'm so sorry that I'm yawning. In my defense, I worked today a lot longer than I thought I would too, but that's okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah, now I've run out of things to say. I guess I could talk about Christmas. Have I ever told you guys, I feel like I've been talking about my mom a lot lately, but have I ever told you guys about the level of baking that my mother, not so much now, but used to do for Christmas? Because, like, it is insane. It has ruined baking for me. I don't like baking. I hate baking. I never want to do baking. I like the end product, but, like, the process is so daunting, even if you're doing something very simple. And flour, it just gets everywhere. But anyways, for Christmas, my mom used to make sugar cookies. And when I say my mom used to make sugar cookies, she didn't just, like, make some dough, roll it out, you know, maybe put some balls, like, roll it into balls and, like, set it down and maybe put a couple sprinkles on it. No. What I'm saying is my mom would make, like, a triple batch of sugar cookie dough. She would roll it out very, very thin, very evenly. And then she would take one of, like, literally 200 different cookie cutters, and she would cut it out, painstakingly cut out all these different shapes. Like, she had a whole set of, like, 20 different animals, like, supposed to be Noah's Ark. And so she'd, like, do that, and she would, like, get all of those, and then she would bake them without any decorations. She just bake them. She'd wait for them to cool, and then she would ice them. And now, when I say that she would ice them, what I mean is she would make, like, again, a triple batch of royal icing, which, by the way, disgusting. I hate royal icing. Maybe that's why I'm so bitter. It's just that she made spent all this time on these cookies, and then I didn't like royal icing. But anyways, so she'd make royal icing, and she'd color it in at least, at a minimum, 6 colors. Like, you had to have, like, every color of the rainbow, and black. You always had to have black for, like, the little details. So she wouldn't make a huge amount of the black. She'd just make a little bit so that she could, like, put on eyes and stuff, but, like, still. And then there was one year where she made, like, 8 colors, but then she wanted to try this method called, like, flowing, where you line the edge of the cookie with, like, an icing of a thicker consistency, and then you pour a thinner consistency of icing. It's supposed to give a very smooth finish. And so she made, like, 8 colors, 16 bags of icing, and I can't even. So yeah, basically, yeah, that used to be my mom for Christmas. Can anyone else relate to that level? Because I understand baking for Christmas, and those weren't the only cookies she made either, but, like, that level, because, like, I don't even know, and I just kind of grew up with it, and so that was my normal, but that's not normal. But, I mean, she produced gorgeous cookies, like, honestly, like, rave worthy, and people commented on them all the time. But anyways, I really hope that you guys all enjoyed this build. If you did, feel free to give me a like, a comment, or subscribe, especially if you're interested in being notified as to when my next build is. I probably won't be doing a build next week. I think I'll take a little vacation from YouTube just with the holidays and stuff, but I have big plans coming up. So, again, have a safe December, holidays, whatever you celebrate, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!